Assalamualaikum everyone. Today our group will be presenting chapter 6 and part 1 of our MR 533 courses, which is focuses on computer crime. What is computer crime? Actually, computer crimes refer to any illegal activity that involves the use of computer or a network. And these crimes either use computer as a tool or target computer system as the main objective. Some of common examples including hacking, spreading malware, cyber espionage, denial of service attack, and unauthorized access to sensitive data. Next, we have computer fraud, also known as cyber fraud. This is when someone intentionally uses digital tools like computer or the internet to deceive others for personal or financial gains. It may involve stealing data, manipulating information, or gaining unauthorized access to their assets. It's also important to note that computer fraud is a subset of computer crime. And cyber harassment involves using digital platform to bully, threaten, or embarrass others. This includes sending repeated or unwanted message, pretending to be someone else online, sharing sensitive information without consent, or creating group to harass someone. The effects of cyber harassment are serious. Victims may suffer from anxiety, depression, or low self-esteem. Some may even experience sleep issues, difficulty concentrating, or suicidal thoughts. It's a form of psychological abuse that can have a long-term emotional consequences. Next is cybercrime in Malaysia. As you can see, there's a number of cybercrime cases in Malaysia from 2015 until 2020, and the lowest case that's been recorded is on 2018, which is 8,313 cases, and during 2020 it recorded one of the most highest cases, which is 4,229 cases. In Malaysia, cybercrime has a significant concern, which is some of the most common type includes cyber harassment, fraud and forgery, malicious code, denial of services, intrusion attempts, content related offense, also spam and exploiting of vulnerabilities. Next one is phishing. Phishing is one of the most common cybercrime methods. It usually involves pretending to be legitimate organization in order to steal sensitive data like password or credit card information. Phishing attacks often appear as email or fake websites that look real, tricking users into giving away private details. Identity theft. Identity theft occurs when someone illegally obtains and uses another person's private information to impersonate them. This is often done for fraudulent purposes like opening bank accounts or making purchases under someone else's name. And cyber pornography. It's referred to the use of cyberspace to create, display, share, import, or distribute pornographic or obscene content, especially materials that involve children participating in sexual activity with adults. The rising danger of cyber pedophilia in Malaysia, where it increased in internet usage. Also, according to the Department of Statistics Malaysia, DOSM, internet usage rose to 95.5% in 2021, up from 91.7% in 2020. There is also a risk, which is with wider internet access, pedophiles now exploit virtual means for crime like grooming and accessing child pornography. PDRM reported on cyber pedophilia in 2017. Only 46 IP addresses were identified as involved in cyber pedophilia. By 2018, the number surged to 2,360 in IP addresses, and it continued to rise sharply, reaching 48,752 IP addresses by 2021.
Hi everyone, now I will explain several key terms related to computer crimes. So the first one is virus dissemination. This refers to the act of spreading malicious software or viruses that can infect other systems or files. For example, an employee might unknowingly open a suspicious email attachment, causing a virus to spread across the company's network and delete important files. And the next one, we have the denial of service or DOS attack. This type of cyber attack floods a website or server with so much traffic that it becomes inaccessible to real users. For instance, a government website could be bombarded with millions of fake requests, making it impossible for the public to access their services. Now we move to hacking and malware. For hacking, it refers to the unauthorized access or manipulation of computer systems, often with the goal of stealing data or causing harm. For example, a hacker might break into a university system to change student grades. Meanwhile, malware stands for malicious software. This is any software created to damage or steal from a computer system. It includes viruses, spyware, ransomware, trojans, and more. A common example is a trojan that pretends to be a free game but secretly records everything the user types, including their passwords. So we move to the next slide that have spamming and obscene publications. Now, let's look at spamming, which is the act of sending bulk unwanted messages, usually advertisement, through email, messaging apps, or social media. Then we have obscene publications, which include any content that graphically shows sexual acts of violence, especially those involving minors. These are considered very offensive and illegal. For the last one, we will look at two terms. First is indecent publication. This refers to content that may be vulgar, sexually suggestive, or violent, things that go against society moral standards. While not as extreme as obscene content, indecent publications can still be harmful, especially to younger audience or in public spaces. The next one is cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is the practice of protecting digital systems, data, and network from threats like unauthorized access, cyber attacks, or malware. It's a crucial part of preventing many computer crimes, including hacking, identity theft, and data breaches. Without strong cybersecurity measures, both individuals and organizations are at risk of serious damage.
So now I will be explaining about the legislation on computer crimes. In this section, we will talk about the laws that have been put in place to combat computer crimes in Malaysia. First, what is actually legislation? Legislation refers to the laws or rules created by the government to protect people and organizations from illegal activities. One of the main laws in Malaysia that addresses these issues is the Computer Crimes Act 1997. The Computer Crimes Act 1997 is designed to combat computer-related offences such as unauthorized access, data modification, and fraud. This act covers several important sections, from Section 3 to 7, which define and penalize specific computer crimes. The first section, which is Section 3, makes it illegal to access a computer or data without permission. This section targets anyone who hacks into a system or network without the owner's consent. It includes situations like breaking into someone's email or stealing confidential data from a company. So, if someone is caught accessing a computer or data without permission, they could face a fine of up to 50,000 ringgit, imprisonment for up to 5 years, or both. So, for example, for this section, if someone hacks into a bank system to steal customer information, they would be violating this section. And then the next section, which is Section 4, covers unauthorized access, where the intention is to commit another crime. This means that it's not just about accessing a computer system illegally, but also using the access to do something illegal like fraud or identity theft. And then the penalties here are more strict, which is up to 150,000 ringgit in fines and then 10 years in prison, or both. For example, for this situation, if someone hacks into a system to steal personal data and then use it to commit fraud, they would be violating this section. So the next section that we have is Section 5, which criminalizes any unauthorized changes made to the contents of a computer system. These include activities like altering or deleting important data or introducing malware to disrupt a system. And then violators could face a fine up to 100,000 ringgit, imprisonment for up to 7 years, or both. And then example for Section 5, if someone modifies financial data in a company's accounting system or introduces a ransomware that locks file, they would be breaking this section. And then as for section 6, it deals with the illegal sharing of access codes like password or PIN that allow someone to access a computer system without permission. This section makes it an offense to share someone else's login details or security codes to allow unauthorized access to a system. And then if found guilty, individuals could face a fine up to 25,000 ringgit, imprisonment for up to 3 years, or both. And then for this situation, for example, if someone shares a company password with a hacker, enabling the hacker to access sensitive data, they could be charged under this section, which is section 7, deals with helping or encouraging someone to commit a computer crime, or even trying to commit a computer crime yourself. Even if you don't directly commit the crime, assisting someone else or attempting to commit a crime is punishable under this section. And then the penalties for abetting or attempting to commit a computer crime are the same as for actually committing the crime. For example, for section 7, if someone helps a hacker by providing them with the tools needed to break into a system, they would be guilty under this section.
Hello everyone, now I will talk about the penal code or Kanun Jenayah in Malay. The penal code includes laws that are used when someone commits computer fraud, such as cheating, forgery, or breaking someone's trust. These laws help us punish people who uses computers to do crimes like stealing money or lying to get personal data. Here are some examples. Section 378, theft. Section 403, dishonest use of someone else's property. Section 405, criminal breach of trust. Section 415, cheating. And Section 463, forgery. These laws help make sure that people who commit these crimes online can still be punished. Next, let's look at the Communications and Multimedia Act 1998. This law is about using the internet and other digital networks in Malaysia. It helps stop people from misusing internet services. Section 233 is important. It says it's a crime to send messages that are rude, offensive or annoying to others using the internet. If someone breaks this law, they can go to jail up for 1 year, pay a fine up to 50,000 ringgit or both. Now let's look at the Personal Data Protection Act or PDPA. This law protects our personal information. It makes sure that companies or people cannot use our data without our permission. If someone uses or shares your personal data without asking you, it is against the law, especially if it's used for cheating or fraud. The general rule in Section 6 is a person cannot use your personal data unless you say yes or give permission, especially if the data is sensitive.